Hey everybody, Bob Babbitt here. This is Breakfast with Bob from Challenge Daytona and the PTO 2020 Championship. Captiva Spine is our sponsor, along with John Hall Chevrolet, USA Triathlon, Foundation Risk Partners, and the PTO, the Pro Triathletes Organization. Our next guest, Danielle Lewis. How you doing, Danielle?
I'm doing great, Bob. Thanks for having me.
It's an honor to have you. So a little background. Grew up in South Florida, run scholarship at Baylor, and All-American qualified for steeplechase Olympic trials.
Yes.
Steeplechase is like my favorite event out there. Talk a little bit about how brutal the steeple is. And usually, how did you get chosen to run the steeple?
Yeah, it is definitely a grueling race. In high school, I did a lot of events: high jump, long jump, 800 mile, 2 mile.
Oh my God.
Really, whatever the coaches wanted me to do. He said, just go do it.
Right.
And so when I was being recruited, he thought I would be a heptathlete.
Right.
But then I jumped in to the cross country team, and slowly he realized, okay, I'm actually a decent distance runner. And so we started off in the 800. My PR in that was a 2:06.
Wow.
My freshman year.
Okay.
And then he gradually just moved me up to the mile and then to the steeplechase.
Yeah.
I guess I had some of that athleticism from jumping. I also played basketball and volleyball, so it seemed to be a logical fit.
Did you go to the trials in steeple?
I qualified, but I actually injured my heel. I fractured it just a few weeks beforehand in training, and then re-injured it in a race, and so I couldn't race on it.
Okay, what's the most brutal thing you've seen in the steeple? We've seen a lot of people. Everybody at the when you go to a track meet, the pit is where everybody's at, right? Everybody goes to the water jump to wait to see the carnage.
Okay, so I'm laughing because it was the regional championship, and I injured my heel. It was a week beforehand.
Yeah.
And so I was in the pool aqua jogging for the full week before the race.
Which is brutal.
And then I didn't run on earth, like on land, until like the day before the race. And so we taped it all up, and I think it was the second water jump. I was I think like sitting in second place, which is a good positioning in that race. And I only had to place in the top 12. Because I had an automatic basically to go to nationals.
Right.
And so anyways, I was coming over the water jump. I don't know what happened. All that I remember is just face planting the water. And all I could think about was these spikes going into my back. I'm like, don't hit me, please. Thankfully, nobody stepped on me. And I got up and I finished the race. I was 12th by like 1/100th of a second. So,
after ending up face down in the pit.
Yes.
And nobody jumped on you.
No, thankfully.
Oh my God! Yeah, I've seen a lot of people come away with spike wounds. It's a scary thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a point there where you got mono and vitamin D deficiency. You had to take a year off to recover, and you gained 50 pounds.
I had what I call a fat moment for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's hard.
It was hard. You know, running ended fairly abruptly. I wanted to run professionally, but then getting sick, and it was my senior year.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't able, just with how the money was being divvied out, I wasn't able to take like a red shirt my senior year. And so I ended up just finishing school and just kind of stopped running. And I was pretty upset with how running ended. And I quit training, just quit everything, and kind of just ate a lot.
And then found cycling.
I did.
Yeah. And then you started cycling to get in shape. Then you fractured your shoulder at some point.
Yeah. See, so then I found, I know, right? It was like one thing after the other.
Yeah.
I thought at that point I'd do triathlon.
Right.
But as I was learning how to ride a bike, see, the issue when you take a runner that has a great cardio foundation, you can go hard, but you don't have the handling skills.
None.
And so I ended up doing something kind of stupid. I was coming downhill, right-hand turn, braked, locked my wheels, and skid out into a vehicle, fractured my shoulder. And so I couldn't swim.
Right.
So I could ride.
You could still ride.
I could still ride after I got surgery and all of that.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to the other. I did well in cycling and joined an domestic elite team.
Yeah.
And raced around the country for a year.
And then you broke your back.
And then I had another accident. Yeah, this one was not my fault though, but yes, it was in a cycling accident, downhill, 40 plus miles an hour.
Oh my God.
So
then a couple years off to heal from that.
Well, then I thought, okay, you know what? I'm just going to like focus on my career in public health,
Right.
do some stuff at a regional level, just have fun with sport, no pressure. But you still have those dreams in your mind that
You
are
feel
just
like they weren't fulfilled. It's like you were steeple and you didn't quite get to where you wanted to get to. Then
Right.
you're in cycling and you're not quite getting where you want to get to. If you can sort of leave it on your own terms, that's great.
Right.
But it seemed like you weren't able to do that.
No, I wasn't. And it's like you have that dream inside of you that's like, just like, I'm waiting for you to come get me, right?
Yes.
And so then I was like, 2017, you know what, this is my year. That's when I started doing triathlon, and
You
ended
killed
up-
it.
Yeah, I did well.
You won all 3 USAT duathlon national titles, 3rd and 5th at USAT Olympic and Sprint national champs. So, and then one overall age group finisher at 70.3, Cozumel, that was
Yes.
your debut, and turned pro in 2018. So all of a sudden, things are a little bit of a roll.
Yes, and it's been a quick learning curve, I'd say.
Yeah, you think? And 19th, so you were in Nice.
Yes, I was in Nice last
So
year.
with the cycling background you have, you must have been excited about that course.
Oh, I was. I was kind of disappointed though, because I made another rookie mistake. I had the Garmin watch where it's kind of like the quick release on your wrist,
Yeah.
and then you can take it and put it on your bike.
Right.
And so that's what I had used the past like year and a half,
Sure.
and it was working fine. And so that was my plan at Nice. But when I got out of the water, I realized it was gone. It had gotten like clawed off in the swim. And so I did the whole bike totally blind.
Yeah.
But what I'm most disappointed about is I did not get any Strava segments.
Yeah, because you would have wanted to see where your
It's
splits
like,
were.
if it's not on Strava, you didn't really do it.
No, it doesn't exist.
Right.
That is when you go out and you forget your watch, you forget your Garmin. Oh my God, because you can't just like plug it in and make it up.
No.
It doesn't work. So 2019, you win Eagleman and multiple 70.3 podiums 2020 and the Bear Lake Brawl.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and
that
that was
was cool.
funded by PTO.
Yes, it was. It was the first race on U.S. soil since COVID shut things down.
Yeah. How important has the support from PTO been for yourself and other pros during this time?
Oh, I mean, it's been huge because, a lot of us rely on racing
Yeah.
for some income, and then without having those races, then that is taken away.
Right.
And so to have those opportunities has been huge. It's been great to see the PTO step up in a year when they could have said, well, no, we're just going to see what happens next year. Let's
Right.
let the COVID stuff pass first.
Right.
But no, they've really been pushing things forward despite what's going on in the world.
I love it. And here we've got $1.15 million online. Olympic distance athletes, world champions, gold medalists, and then you've got Ironman world champions and 70.3 athletes. Do you like this concept of putting everybody together under one roof and see what happens?
Oh, yeah. I love it. And I love this format of being around the Speedway.
Yes.
For myself, I tend to come out of the water back of pack.
Yeah.
And then I just spend the rest of the day catching up.
Right.
And so with this, it works really well because there's never a moment when I wonder where the next person in front of me is.
You can see them forever.
I can see everybody.
And it's 20-meter draft rule. So the people who are out in front of you in the swim, they have to ride.
Correct.
Yeah, there's no sitting in on this race. And so what are your plans for next year? Are you thinking about Collins Cup and trying to go to Samarin?
Well, that would be awesome. I think my focus right now obviously is on this weekend and performing well.
Yes.
I think that performance would dictate if I'd get that opportunity or not because
Right.
it is fairly limited.
Right, yeah, I think top 4 Americans. Yeah,
So I'd have, my work cut out for me.
which is good. You like that. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the nice thing for you after not being able to control your own destiny for so long with all those different accidents is you control it now. Whatever happens is because of you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then of course the amazing support that I have too. I mean, my husband Andrew has been incredibly supportive through this whole year and us even getting here, and of course my coaches and sponsors too have just continued to believe in me and push me forward.
I love it. So nice to get to chat with you.
You too, Bob.
I look forward to seeing you race on Sunday.
Thank you.
Danielle Lewis has been our guest. Again, this is Challenge Daytona, a PTO 2020 championship. My name is Bob Babbitt. Hang on. We will be right back.